Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Baka podcast.
Baka.
It's amazing how every time you open your mouth, you prove you're an idiot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Baka. We are an anime podcast where every 2 weeks we come together to discuss an anime we recently watched in a very book club style format, even though we're just watching television. But then we take that discussion, we turn it over to you. You tell us what you like. You tell us what you don't like. You tell us about horse racing anime.
That we should have picked.
Which is almost definitely coming to this podcast.
Yep.
Do we get to play the game too, though?
The one of the most popular mobile games of 2025? Yeah, it's huge. Guys, no spoilers. Something happened in the anime and the internet lost its mind. And I was like, wait, people are watching this? I'm talking too much about horse girls. Let's move on. Today, we are discussing the anime Leviathan, made by Orange Studio, featured on Netflix. And to do that, I need the help of my co-host. First off, we have the metal to my gear. It's Jeremy with a, dare I say, anime take.
Okay.
Don't even have
Art
to be
isn't
hot.
everything. There. Art isn't everything. That's a take.
Very, very tepid. Yeah.
Yep.
That is a take.
We also have the Moby to my dick. It's Jason.
Guess I'm an enormous whale.
Did that work out like you thought it would in your head when you decided to go with that? Never mind. Good.
I'm gonna actually hold that joke aside. Go with my better self. This is not a
good call, because we're PG.
Yeah, this is not a drinking podcast this time.
Nope.
Those are fun. I think 12 episodes for most shorter anime is not enough time to tell the story they're trying to tell.
All right. And my name is Troy. Mine is similar. I did think of mine before you had said yours, just but mine was about adaptations. But
Sure.
Mostly, I think people have too high of expectations for adaptations. I think people have to understand that when a medium changes, story elements have to change, because I see way too many times, oh, this one specific thing I loved wasn't there. There was probably a reason. It probably doesn't present well from, written to visual, whatever. That wasn't just for this anime. It's from recent movies I've watched. It's fine.
Let's not get into this right now, but I would like to posit the question, like, if the watcher has no idea it's an adaptation from, say, a light novel, should it matter?
No.
Moving on.
I think adaptations should stand on their own. But I do think people watch stuff that is being adapted and coming in with too high of expectations.
Jurassic Park, the book was way better than the movie.
Well, that's just plain true. There was... I actually watched a video today about Rambo, and like 20 facts about Rambo that I didn't know. One of them was that in the book, he died. I didn't know about that, but apparently in the movie that was it did not land with the test audience. So instead they gave him the very tragic and well-known scene that we have now. And yeah, in movie form, at least it's way better for it. So
got a bunch of sequels, so
yeah.
All right, that's enough hot takes.
Tepid takes.
Tepid. Mine was a little hot, right? Okay, fair.
Simmering.
Hold on, let me drink my feelings with water.
Under a hot lamp.
We are discussing Leviathan. As it's kind of been hinted at, it is a book adaptation. We'll talk about that in a minute. We're going to go with our non-spoiler reviews. First off with Jeremy.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I thought it was pretty shallow. I really wanted to see more development on the bioengineered side. I did like the walkers. I thought that the mechs were cool. The characters did not land with me. I mean, they weren't all horrible, but at least the main two characters just really rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like them. Um, the overall story, a lot happens. It's fine, but it kind of seems like things are a bit too easy or convenient. So that the story just kind of propels itself through the arcs very quickly. Um, so yeah, the art's beautiful. I've got to give it that, and there is a certain classical nature to it that it portrays really well. So it does feel like it's grounded in the time that it's presenting itself in.
All right, Jason.
Um, I think the biggest hurdle this anime did not get up and over was making me care about any of the characters. Um, the world's cool. I like it. It's this alternate reality where there's there's competing factions for technological advancement, and I think the way they go about it's really neat. Um, you know, living in harmony and catching animals, they might need to watch out for Nintendo. But
Yeah, right.
no,
Patented
just
that.
kidding. Right. No, I think I'm not sure if it's strictly the writing or perhaps it's the voice actors, but the voice actor for Alex, I don't want to disparage anybody, just felt like he was phoning it in. And when I say phoning it in, I mean like over a phone and then like also phoning it in. They didn't, I did not feel any passion behind their voice. And also the animation of the character, I'm not sure if it's a CGI thing, but I remember feeling and seeing more passion in, say, Knights of Sidonia than I did in this one.
What about Land of the Lustrous?
Yeah, Land of the Lustrous or Beastars would be a better comparison because the same studio.
Both of those were amazing. I have nothing but praise to say for both of those. So it's odd now that you say that, because I didn't realize. It seems odd that I just I didn't connect with any of the characters, and so I didn't feel immersed in the story. There's some good things there, and like I said, I think there's a lot of really cool world building, but I just didn't find myself caring.
Now, English dub, right, Jason?
Yes.
It's sub for you, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
Dub for me. Also, I think my review has to go with a little bit. I was aware this was a adaptation of 3 different novels, all crammed into 12 episodes. And
Fucking spiders.
Barking spiders. Well, so I just wanted to point that out. And Jason, I don't think you knew. Jeremy, it sounds like you either figured it out.
I found out after. Right before the podcast, I was like, what was the source material for this?
And like you pointed out, Jason, that doesn't really matter in the end. Like this needs to stand on its own. But I just wanted, I did know. I did find interesting that they chose to adapt an American novel in anime studio. That's pretty unique. It has a very different feel. It actually, a lot of the anime tropes are missing, but coming from a young adult novel, a lot of the young adult novel tropes are there. And when you're watching anime and you're really not used to those, that's kind of like Jeremy said, shallow, and he's 100% spot on. The characters aren't deep. They are 1 or 2 character traits pushed into a ball and then says, go through a character arc. If they get that, we'll talk about that.
It's so funny that it was I didn't realize an American novel, because the animal side technology, that felt so Japanese.
Yeah, this is this is all American guy. I like the world. I'm okay with like the young adult idealism. It's fine. It's probably a little bit too ruined by the world at this point. But I think at
Oh, you like
14, I
Maze
would.
Runner, so.
No, I don't. I make fun of Maze Runner.
I like to hate Maze Runner.
Um, trying to stay on track, jerk. You whale. Characters, like I said, they're simple. I don't feel the same way about the dialogue. It's not great, especially his character, but it almost fits the character and his background and what they're doing with the character. It wasn't terrible. I actually really like the Scottish last voice they give to the other character. Bark at spiders. I've been saying that over and over again.
They gave her a Scottish voice.
Oh yeah, she is super Scottish.
Yeah.
Barking
Okay,
spiders.
I would have loved to have heard that then. Yeah. If there was an accent in the sub, I wasn't
Right.
able to catch it. But her voice was grating to me in the sub.
Story wise, pacing is an issue because every 4 episodes is a novel. So like the last 2 episodes of an arc start feeling more exciting and interesting, but rushed. But the first 2 episodes feel very slow. It's almost like it's 3 mini movies, and even that has pacing issues. There's a few times where people are like, "I'm gonna go do A." No, I'm not. Okay, yes, I am. No, I'm not. I'm like, okay, please don't do that. Please just, we're wasting time spinning a wheel, and I don't want to do that. I also have issues with the ending compared to my understanding. I haven't read the books. Sorry, this is not an actual book club. I have issues with the ending. I do want to say all that I do think I enjoyed it overall, just as almost more for the theme and world building and hey, alternate history World War One with some cool stuff and a serviceable story. So, like slightly a thumb up. Maybe recommend if you really like steampunk and you really like World War One history.
I'm glad you
Go
finished
watch
that
Rocketeer.
sentence.
Yep, I
Probably
had to
like
add
that
the last
better.
word. All right. That's our non-spoiler reviews. Next up, Tanya's take.
No, she hated this so much.
Have wait, she liked Apothecary Diaries, right?
Yeah, she really liked
Okay,
Apothecary
okay.
Diaries.
So she's had something
She
she's liked
hasn't-
recently.
She hasn't
I was
hated
gonna say,
every one of these.
Are we
No,
like
but
0 for 8 on Tanya takes?
I know.
I think we're 1 for 7.
I can't
But,
wait
like,
for her to watch
episode-
next week's.
Oh God, I think okay. So at episode 5, she was like, "Okay, I think I'm done," but and I told her you don't have to,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
she stuck around to help me through it.
Okay.
But yeah,
Moral
next week
support.
might be the end of it.
We'll get there. Opening and closing, your guys' thoughts.
I didn't like them. I mean, visuals for the opening was okay, but
Which one?
Right? Okay. So I'll have to say the not the Goliath, but the Kraken,
Yeah,
Behemoth.
I really like the pictures of that one, but I didn't like the music on either side, and the outro's like 14 minutes long, so it's like half the episode. I don't know why.
The words,
Is that a
how
Netflix
am I
thing?
supposed to understand what's happening?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
not for me.
I like piano. I like classical music. The intro was very short, and I appreciated that. It had a whimsical classical tone to it, and I like that, both of those things. But it's not something that's going to stick with me.
Perfect
Yeah.
for a World War One story. Whimsical.
Whimsical and classical.
Well, to me, it's got a Miyazaki
Yeah,
flair to
same
it.
here.
A
Mhm.
very light-hearted but kind of somber. And I really liked when
Yeah.
the lyrics actually do show up in the story, and you find out, the
Yeah.
song is about 2 people on different paths that care about each other. And that was good. And I did like the visuals and that they changed with each arc. But I really liked the ending art, the concept art for each
Yeah.
episode. That was a really cool touch. Yeah, it was a little bit long in the tooth, Jason, but it was. I actually liked some of the concept art a lot better. Like, oh, that scene looks awesome. But I watched it;
Yeah.
it was super boring. But
Mhm.
I really like the character way they do the character here. It's some cool shots in that concept art. So,
And
take it away.
the singing and the tune for the outro was very Record of Lodoss War. Like it just
Hmm.
screamed that sort of music to me. But even so, it's not a huge fan.
Yeah, well, I think I agree with it. It's not gonna be super memorable. I'm not gonna
Mhm.
not hitting a playlist or anything like that. All right, before we go on to our spoiler section, our next anime is called Jason. Tell him.
It
Count the
is
words.
right. I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire, and that's the story too. Actually, it's an isekai, but
It's a harem isekai.
So our low viewership will be
Intergalactic.
even lower for the next episode, but it's probably phoning that one in. Just give you all a heads up. If you want to take a vacation, skip
Hey.
it. Whatever. I might not show up. Who knows?
You know, because we're all great rule followers here. I followed the rules. Here's my pick.
There we go, I guess.
Yeah.
I
All
can't
right.
say anything after last week or last time.
I mean, guys, I got a racing horse girl anime coming up in my pick, so sure, yeah. what is this life I'm living? I don't know anymore. All right, spoiler section. Spoilers probably for a little bit of the book. I really want to spoil the ending of the book just because I want to contrast the two endings. So I'm probably gonna do that. It's not like a brand new book series,
You can flag it when you do.
but it'll be at the end. Good call. I'll flag it. Also, spoilers for the events of World War One. Probably a little history in there.
I hope people know at least generally.
Right?
I'll bet you most people don't. Everyone knows World War Two.
Yeah.
World War One is just kind of
You ask normal people, like, do you remember Archduke Ferdinand or why he was important? Nobody's gonna know.
all right.
Yeah.
That was stuff I've known, but I did at one point be like, I have no idea who's chasing who at this point. I need to go reread some quick notes on World War One. Who was Germany work? Okay, Germany and Austria are together. Okay. All right. So I'm not insulting anyone. It's such a different world than World War II is like good guys versus bad guys, and World War One's like, we were all just kind of being dicks, and we started killing a lot of people. It was not good. All right, we'll get into it. Spoilers for all that, plus this anime. All right, let's. Like we've mentioned, we are set in the time right before World War One, but in alternate history where two technological branches have been created. One is mecha and machine oriented, and one is Charles Darwin figured out how to do an evolution. Scientists can now make animals do whatever they want, like turn into a flying machine or
A lizard that carries your message from one
carries
part of the
messages.
ship to another.
Or mollusks that can melt metal.
Which I guess I know this is a big talking point for one of us. Let's go into both. Let's start with the mecha side. Your guys' thoughts on the steampunk mecha technology. And it's a big deal. It's a selling point of the anime, so I think it's worth talking about.
I think it's neat. A bit unrealistic as far as, I mean, I guess the whole world is, but
Right.
when you think mecha, you think pilot turns on mech, they hit forward, and the thing starts walking. Well, because this is steampunk, there's no computers, there's no AI to handle the movements of the legs, so they literally have 4 controls, 2 foot pedals, 2 arms to move just the legs. It's not like, and these mechs don't have arms where they can like turn and like use them. So I found that fascinating. I thought it was a really neat take on like steampunk mechs. Also, uh, you had the small striders, but then we end up with some really really big ones, and they're very slow and methodical, and almost like impending doom kind of feel to them as well. So I really liked the designs that they had for the mechs.
Yeah, I thought that the mechs were a strong point when it came to the setting and how things were created and presented. Um, I really enjoyed it. Chicken walkers were always some of my favorites in like BattleTech or really any setting. And yeah, just knowing that he's got to actually use those leg pedals. They have that in BattleTech, but you've got a battle computer and a gyroscope that are all helping you. And you know, I'm wondering what the balance, like how does the mech balance itself? Like I always love getting into the nitty gritty of these things. It doesn't really matter that much, but for me, there's enough room in the mech and for the size of it that I could see there being some steampunky, mystical, mechanical component that handles that. But I would love to see like some schematics and stuff. Like I'm all for it. Practically salivating at the idea of it. Um, but there were some things where I was like, okay, I don't really understand. Um, so like, there's one point where a bomb is dropped out of a zeppelin, basically, and it hits the mech walker dead center
Dead
on the
center.
top. Yeah, and everyone's okay. And the mech isn't, but everyone else is okay. Like all the systems are broken. There's other times where the mech is running and then like just makes an immediate stop because it ran into something. And the person inside doesn't even have like in some cases they don't even have a seatbelt. And I don't understand how they're not spread across the inside of the control panel.
They go flying a couple times. There's a couple times where people bounce out of their seat, but yeah, there's a lot more times they should have where it's minimal.
Yeah, yeah, like a full speed running impact that stops them dead. And I'm just like, you'd be like paced now. There's some things where I just thought that it took away from what could have been really interesting. Honestly, I think it would have been subtle too, subtle changes as far as like adding proper restraints or adding some kind of system to protect them. You see inside the cockpit right after an impact like that the person's just sitting there. So it's not like there was something and it went off. But those are minor complaints, really. They don't have a whole lot to do with anything of value. They're just my nitty gritty things.
I think the biggest issue with that scene is that you see it from the bomb's POV, and it clearly lands on the hatch of the roof of. And if they had just shown like from the distance, like almost like an explosion happened right at the thing, you'd be like, "Oh, did they get hit?" And then you find out, "Oh no, okay, maybe it just got missed and they got toppled over." But it's like, okay,
All it needed
that's
to
a
do
direct
was,
hit.
yeah, all it needed to do was take a leg out. Like
Right.
that would have been enough right there. So have it land like right next to them. Yeah. So it's
Um,
simple fixes.
I think this is going to be similar to the biotech as well, but I love the way it had an equivalent in the real technology that was being built at the time. This is clearly tanks, and that it wasn't let's all have a person climb into a mecha. It's a multi-person crew. You people on the
The tank crew.
gunners. You need an engineer to help fix things. A spotter. Just the fact that there's a spotter in the mecha or in like that be in the tank, I thought was really cool. So yeah, we're in a fantasy World War I, but we're also still giving a little like, hey, yeah, we're just like a single man thing. I enjoyed that a lot. The rest I just kind of took as imaginary magical things, and I didn't worry too much about it. Biotech, I think we have strong opinions, and there's a rant coming.
Well, before we get into the rant, then I'll say I didn't like it at first. Like it was a little stark. But then after like learning, especially once they visit the bowels of the main ship, the Leviathan that we'll get into, and like doing some of the sci-fi sciencey talk about it, I kind of just went with it. I bought it. It made the world a bit richer. I do love that, like instead of cannons firing out, no, they command a bunch of bats to drop bombs, and I thought that was neat. Or like, and we need a smoke screen, so they send out birds with or bats with smoke bombs on them, and they create a smoke cloud. Yeah, I think what made it really neat as well is it was a contrast to the mechs. So like both sides had a negative view of each other, because like the guys in the mechs, they're like, oh, you're just using, animals to do your bidding. That's dumb. We have really strong tanks. And then like the Darwinists, they're like, why in the world would you rely on metal when you can have an intelligent thing do things for you? It's like,
This heals and breeds to make more.
right.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that they used clanker as a derogatory name.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did like that from the world building standpoint. But Jeremy, please tell me all the ways how you love that side.
Yeah. Well, I always have loved seeing settings where you have bioengineering put up against mechanical. It's just like magic versus technology to me. I think it's really cool. I love seeing that. I want to see it more. KKND, Kill, Crush, and Destroy, was an old game that I remember playing as a teen, and I absolutely loved it because of that. It's an RTS where one side has bioengineered, the other side has machines. The issues that I have is how the bioengineered creatures were used and how they were presented. So, for instance, you've got a lizard that the captain just speaks into, and then the lizard runs over somewhere and delivers the message. And the delay that that would create, as opposed to simply having like a pipe and a person or something, it would be so much quicker. You don't even need like radio signals or anything to be able to do that. They did stuff like that all the time. It would have been faster. So it was almost like it was a gimmick. It was literally inefficient to use the biological creation rather than just not even a mechanical contraption, but just simple a physical contraption, right? It's not like they had to go clanker in order to make a different way of solving the problem. And then also when you have like the Leviathan, uh, the anime is called Leviathan. I really thought that it was going to play a bigger role. And I mean, yes, it's present, but the Leviathan itself could have been anything. It could have been a Zeppelin. It could have been a hollowed out husk, a skeleton. Like, it had no personality. It had no character. It didn't even move when they were flying across the sky. It was more like it was held in place by all of the motors and such that were attached to it. It was like it was just a thing. Coming from Farscape, where they have leviathans, like Moya, um, they had personality, right? And so if the Leviathan was in a bad mood, you would see issues on the ship. Some things maybe wouldn't work. You could hear it making noises. Um, Even in space, it could move a little bit. I would have expected the fins, at least on the whale, to move. Um, so I really thought there were missed opportunities when it comes to having a bioengineering side that was actually interesting. And then also like the little creature that was a calculator. Like, the concept is great. I love the concept, but it needed more development, and having like, oh, there's these lights, and I can look at the lights on the back of the creature and I can tell you what it means. Especially when previously it has to be like written down and figured out and decoded. Like, I don't know, there was just a lot of convenience and gimmicky nature to the bioengineering side of things, and it wasn't present across the board. Like, I would expect to see a lot more uses of bioengineered creatures in just everyday convenience, like when they were doing the swimming portion. Like, there should be other bioengineered things. Like, what are the bad guys from outside the galaxy in Star Wars and the old lore?
Yuvin Vong.
Yeah,
Yuzhan Vong?
like, yeah, they could have done some Yuzhang Vong things, you know?
Yeah, actually, I think I'll save my comments for when we get to the Lorax. Whatever that thing's called.
Lore?
He speaks to the tree.
We're in the Dr. Seuss anime.
I'd watch that.
I can't stand how much importance is put on it, and then it's just this dud of a thing. Anyways, go on. Let's move on. We'll get to it.
Oh, I love it, but yeah, we can fight about it then.
Oh, I can't wait.
For me, the biotech, mostly a neat idea. I 100% agree with Jeremy about the Leviathan itself. I I realize not all the books are called Leviathan, so
Right.
the emphasis, but the whole anime is called Leviathan, and other than just kind of being a backdrop, I was expecting more of a Battlestar Galactica where it was literally about, we're stuck on this ship and behind enemy lines, and only by scraping together and working together and combining our technology can we survive. And it's like, no, actually, it's just kind of sometimes going to be up in the air sometimes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this could have been called Ford Explorer. Like
it carries us to locations off screen
Flying forward. Yep.
for the most part. And like in the books, they changed their name for whatever is the big ship of that book, but it
I
bugged
thought
me.
it was called Leviathan because it has like Leviathan, Behemoth, Goliath.
Leviathan's the first book, Behemoth's the second book, Goliath is the third book, but they are called the
Right.
Leviathan trilogy.
Leviathan. Yeah. Oh, duh. Yeah, not Leviathan. Leviathan.
But like the bat bombs, the smoke birds, most of that
Batarangs.
stuff I enjoyed. The scuba,
That would be-
whatever that was cool.
I remember actually going through the Star Wars equipment book and seeing that rebreather gill that was a bioengineered creature. I was like, that's what that is.
It's the thing. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Not that you're wrong about any of your statements either, though, Jeremy. It's just something you care a lot more about, and it can definitely find flaws in. So I agree, it's flawed. It just wasn't a big deal to me, other than me thinking, I think I'd rather be in a mecha than a soft on top of a tiger or something in a war battle. And also thinking, well, at least they're not digging trenches. Could be worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because that happened in World War One, guys. Did you know that they dug the
Hold
trench
on.
war?
Wait, really?
Told you there'd be spoilers.
Was it a trench crusade?
All right, the actual story.
They have
We have two.
feet.
We have
in
two
trenches?
stories. We're all done listening to you. We're only listening to me now. We have two concurrent stories, which is really annoying for notes. Just again, it's the worst, and for story recaps. So, but
it won't be for long.
Yeah, our first main character, his name is Alec Ferdinand. He is the fictional son of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. They wrote the OP for Cyberpunk anime Edgerunners. Come on, right?
Did they?
This fire's out of control. That's Franz Ferdinand. It doesn't matter. It was a great joke. So, someone listening laughed. I got that joke. It was me. It was me and Envy.
Yes.
All right, your guys' thoughts on Alec Ferdinand.
I now that I know that this is a young adult like style of story, it makes more sense. But I couldn't stand this character. They do a good job of portraying him as an entitled brat at first. And then he turns into the moral compass of the story when he's just has no idea the ramifications of the decisions that he's making and the risks that he's taking. This was definitely not written for my demographic.
I'm old and bitter.
I think I have a feeling he's fine for someone who is younger and can identify with his plight and his attempts at coming of age, basically. I didn't find that compelling. I also found it was a neat setup where we are introduced to him being woken up and like, hey, we have to flee the country. Like, you are it and everything depends on you, so we have to protect you. That is definitely a backdrop, but whimsical adventure ends up taking front and center instead of like the fugitive, like running from their own countrymen. It's always in the background, right? It always percolates, but it's like it only comes in when it's convenient for where they are in the story. And it took me out of that storyline. So also, like I said, the writing for his voice lines were not engaging. I didn't connect with this character. I didn't care about him.
Yeah, I really did not like this character. He's pathetic, he's weak, he's naive. He just, in every way he goes for, I want everything. I want it all to work and I want it to be in the best possible way. And it's just ridiculous. The two things that he's good at are fencing
And
and
whining.
yeah, okay, three. You're right. And driving a storm walker. He's good at driving walkers. And then whining. Yes. I could not stand this character. I understand what they're doing with him. Like, and I understand that it's a young adult novel, but his naivety, I think Vulgar was a great foil. I'm going to call him Vulgar. Was a great foil for him and was a great um sort of attempt at bringing things back down to stability, but nothing could compensate. And the boy wins in the end. You know, I mean, like at the cost of everything. And I know he just changes his mind in the end, but it's I don't know. I really don't like this character. I don't like the theme. I don't like the story. I don't like this character.
I like
Okay,
the
here we
theme
go. I'm just
with one caveat. You know, yes, it's young adult, so usually stories of question authority, make the world better, and don't just be complacent to be there, and then set that into a World War One story where countries are have suddenly decided diplomacy the best way to handle diplomacy is to send a bunch of citizens to kill each other in mass for like the first time ever. And so this character who's on the noble side being like, government should serve people, not people serve government. That's a fine theme to have. My one issue, because I agree that I like that he's naive because you know he's sheltered. He lives in a mansion. He's never even been to a town in his whole life.
That doesn't even make sense. There's no way he had no childhood friends. They would have people brought in to train with him. That's common for nobles.
Oh, that can I just I'm just
Just
saying
ugh.
none of that bothered me. What I didn't like is when he's like, "There, we need to do this better," and people are like, "How?" And he's like, "I don't know."
Mhm.
Okay, well, you can't just say be better and then hope. Um, there's not really an answer there. I also don't really like his choice at the end. He kind of rejects some of the stuff he's growing towards. He's
It's
not
like he doesn't. You know how the song is "Stay true to yourself, I'm true to myself," and then he's not even true to the hymn that cost his servant his life. Like,
yeah. Um, yeah, but ultimately, I don't mind the character. He is whiny, but that's intentional. Like he's a spoiled rich kid, and he is suddenly out in the real world. And I do agree, like the foil of Vulgar is super compelling, and one of the better parts of this character. At least he had an arc compared to next character we talk about. So,
other one.
um,
Well, and I think the moment that I really started to dislike him, it happened really early, and it was when Vulgar told him, I made a promise to your dad," and he said, "But my dad's dead. You don't have to keep the promise." And I'm like, "Oh my god, you just totally missed the point. Like, you don't understand the
right,
value of honor and making a commitment and a
right.
promise. Like, you just don't get it. You're horrible." Ugh.
I just like I said, I think he's super naive and kind of facing the reality, except for the story doesn't actually have him face the harsh realities. You know, he he's not like he's helping people die, and he's not realizing. Oh, I'm helping people get killed, and am I okay with that? I did like the part where Klopp's like, "You're gonna overthrow this king. Who are you to say
Yeah.
that should be the one that happens?" And then he's like, "Yeah, but it's okay."
I like these people. They seem nice.
But I like that was called out, and that was something that he had to reconcile with. He's shallow. He's not deep. There's not a whole lot to explore there. What is there, what the story is trying to do is fine. We should also call out again. We have not read the novel. The novel could be
No.
way deeper, and you know,
Mhm.
like we keep. It's just because I keep saying like, oh, it's young adult, so this is why it's this way. I'm sure there's people who read the book and probably like, no, it's actually quite deep. It doesn't feel like young adult. That might be true. I haven't read the book. This is not a review of the book.
No.
I'm making assumptions based off like a little bit of Wikipedia reading, and that's it. Just want that clarified. All right. So this character, yeah, like we talked about, he's woken up by two they're not servants,
They're
they were
called servants a few times.
I mean,
One of
Volker's
them's a count.
count. Yeah, so
Mhm.
they're nobility, but
Babysitters.
Yeah.
basically, well, his instructors really, and they're like, "Hey,
Yeah.
we're doing midnight training. Your father wanted to do midnight training," and then they go off in the walker, and he's like, "Wait, something's up. You guys are kidnapping me." And they're like, "We're not kidnapping you. Oh, you're totally kidnapping me."
Yeah, we're not kidnapping you. Hey, can you smell this cloth?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he's told that his parents have been assassinated. The famous assassination that kicks off World War One, and that's where his story starts. Then we come to our other character, a young woman in Britain, who's also clearly Scottish, but Scottish British, and wants to fly. And so again, I had thought this was gonna be like, oh, I have to do my patriotic duty. That's not it. Her father used to fly. She wants to fly. The only way to do that is to join
And
the British Air Force, and women aren't allowed to serve, so she disguises herself as a man and enlists, and that is Dylan Sharp. She has a female name, but I have 1,000 notes calling her Dylan because we don't learn it till episode 8, so it's gonna
so
be Dylan.
similar. It's not even worth
Right,
bothering.
right.
Darren.
Yeah.
So, which also she probably no, it can't be Darren. You could have just kept that. It's got to be something slightly
No,
more.
it is. It's Deryn.
It is. You could have just called yourself Darren. Anyway,
Yep.
I know.
Your guys' thoughts on Dylan?
Probably the real main character, because the other one is not. Anyways,
Oh, I strongly, I feel the exact opposite. I feel like Alec is the main character, and Dylan's just kind of there.
I don't know. We spend so much time with Dylan.
We do. They're supposed to be co-sharing the story. Like they're both
right.
they're supposed to be equal. But I'll explain mine. It's your turn.
But like her story is so much more compelling than his, even though his seems more world stage. I think it's just all in the execution. Like she's constantly having to hide her gender. She's constantly having to be brutish, and you can tell it's not in her nature to be. They do a great job with that animation. She's constantly fighting with her feelings later on because she doesn't want to expose herself, because she's like, I'd love to, but have womanly affection for this guy that I like, but I can't. And she's heroic. She's a decent character. I just didn't. Something about her and her interactions with the characters around her just did not make me want to care about her. And I'm actually having a hard time articulating why. Like there's a moment where she ends up stranded on the outside of the airship, and I'm going, obviously she's gonna be fine, but would I care if she died? Like if she had fallen to her death and she was out of the story, would I care? I don't know.
That's how we evaluate the worth of characters.
I'm just saying, out of the two main
Did
characters,
you ask this question about Old Country Bumpkin? Because I don't think I would have.
did I give Old Country Bumpkin an amazing
No,
score?
no, but if okay, you're fine. You're right. You're right.
Okay.
You did.
Out of the two, I did like her more. I thought she was at least fairly entertaining, especially in her interactions. She was very animated personality, and she did have some funny quips. So, especially with her barking spiders.
Barking spiders. It's been
always-
10 seconds since I said barking spiders, so I gotta say it
Exactly.
again.
Yeah, I always have such a hard time with like made up in universe slang like that. It's so hard because it feels so out of place. Like in Farscape they use Frel all the time and it takes forever for you to get accustomed to it and be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, that's part of their lingo." For the anime, it just wasn't enough time for me to get accustomed to it. So every time she did that, I was just like, cringe. Ew. But I understand what they're doing, and I do like the flavor. If done well, that can be really cool. As far as the character goes, I will agree that I liked her more than I liked Alec, because she was active. She was doing things like she wasn't wishy-washy. She knew what she wanted, and she constantly moved toward it. The things that I didn't like about her were number one, man, was she grating. Like the voice acting in the sub, she would yell a lot, and when she did, it was just really grating. Um, she was very overbearing and
Yeah,
too
but she's
good.
Scottish.
Yeah,
Aggressively Scottish.
She's
I wish I
aggressively
could have gotten
Scottish.
some of that Scottish accent. That would have been great. She was too good at everything. Like, there's even a scene where like she's swinging down to save one of the guys that's actually bigger than her that injured his arm and he's hanging from a rope. And she swings down and she like catches him and holds on to the rope with one hand. And I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, I know this is just a cartoon and it's anime, but this wow, like there should have been some kind of netting or something that she just like her momentum helped them swing over to. It was not believable to me in the least, and it just made her way too capable, way too powerful. Um, and everything that she picked up that she just did great. And I have a lot of trouble with that. I like to see a character actually have to struggle and figure out how to do things. And she didn't really have to. Any kind of failings that she did have, she solved almost immediately.
I think that actually the biggest thing that bugged me was every time they went down to feed the bats to get them to do whatever they needed to do, none of them had any sort of safety equipment. They didn't tie the
Yeah.
ropes to themselves. They were just hanging by it by one hand.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
They had parachutes back then.
whoa. It's World War.
They had parachutes.
Have you seen what construction workers used to build buildings on? And like
Well, sure.
safety equipment was not a thing.
Okay, but there's a
Yeah,
difference.
and the-
Parachutes.
The Leviathan is the equivalent of a sailing ship, right? So they're not like harnessed while they're on the outside scrubbing the outside of the ship
Okay,
or
but-
tarring it back up. They're just floating above the ocean, and if they fall in,
How hard would it have been to take that same rope and just tie it to their belt? Like, I mean,
Yeah, even that.
or have a
He does it.
yeah, or
Alec
have
does
a
that.
you know, like a mountain climbing hook. They had those back then.
I actually
God,
really
that's
appreciated they
carabiner.
didn't have safety stuff.
Oh.
I was like,
Yeah.
that feels very of the times to me. I
Yeah.
was in. I appreciated it.
To Jeremy's point, when they said, yeah, we need to get rid of a ton, so 2,000 pounds, and they're like, oh, we'll just get rid of this thing that we'll talk about later. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
the two of you drug 2,000
Yeah.
pounds in a
Yeah,
blanket?
exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
That's a little misrepresenting because they were getting rid of more stuff and they had to get rid of 15 people, and the gold replaced those people.
Yeah, but the two
But
of them hauled out that gold.
Okay,
In
you-
But
you
but
tell-
it It wasn't 2 tons of gold. It was just a lot of heavy gold that would make the Leviathan would have to get rid of less to hit weight. It wasn't just the gold that got dumped.
Okay, so
Maybe
this is
1
more
ton.
about the theme. It's about trading value for people. People are more important.
Which I get, but
What
like,
value does the gold have if they get shot down by the German army?
absolutely, but you just can't have 2 teenage kids hauling out a ton of gold on
It's
a
not a ton of
pallet.
gold.
Yes, because it was 2 tons, and then they
Yeah,
knocked
okay.
it down.
Imagine it was 15 people on this
Or
blanket
no, it
that
was
they were
1
dragging.
ton, 2,000 pounds. Yeah, go
Right.
on.
But the 15 people weren't 2,000 pounds. It was, hey, we still have to get rid of a ton. From what, and he's saying like we've already got we know
Okay.
what we can get rid of, but we also have to get rid of 15 people to hit weight.
Sure. I'm just saying, have you ever felt a gold bar in your hand?
Yeah, it was a lot of gold. I get it,
Well,
but they like
I've never felt one, but I've done
yeah.
research enough to know
That's
how
true.
bad it
Okay. Gold is very heavy. It's very dense.
Yeah. I've held a lead bar.
I'm just saying, for the amount of bars that they tossed off the side, putting that in a
Yeah.
blanket, those two are not pulling it.
Nope.
All right, fine, but I just don't want to be like they lifted a ton. No, that's not what happened.
Yeah. No, it takes like 2 hands to lift 1 bar the size that they had of a teenager. Yeah.
He literally did say over the speaker, "We need to get rid of 1 ton of weight."
Yeah,
And
yes,
then they dropped the
the
gold, and then the thing lifted off the ground. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Well, and they had 15
implied
people.
Leviathan was getting rid of other stuff because they say that, and then they say, okay, from what we have left,
Like
we
a
need
4
15
pound
people.
shell. Come on.
Okay, but like, hold on. 15 people. What was the weight of these people? If they're teenage kids, you figure each one's going to be over 100 pounds.
They might
right?
have still got
Boys?
rid of some of the people.
Well, I know. No way.
No, all of them stayed on board
All those boys stayed
You
on board.
count all 15 of those characters were still on the show.
100%.
because they were
100%
still
they're on board.
gathering their supplies
the
when the
point.
ship started to rise.
All right.
Yeah, that was the point of dumping the gold, was that they didn't have to lose any people.
Right.
Okay, I thought they
You
still
know.
lose some people.
Trading Austria's future for a couple of soldiers.
Yep.
Idiot.
Why would Britain care about that?
Well, yeah, but why does
Why
he
should
care
Alec
about that?
care about that?
Because Alec wants everything.
Anyway, I did not mean to derail us that bad.
Remind me that not to hang out with you guys in life and death situations. You want me to get rid of the gold and not let you die? You know how much this gold's worth, Troy? It's Austria's future.
Well, if it's Austria's future, I might get off.
So that's all I'm saying. I just want to ride on Wales with people who value me over Austria's future.
Don't ride with Alec.
Call me crazy. No, ride with Alec. He's gonna save
No.
me.
Yeah, not
Don't ride with
vulgar. Yeah,
Yeah, Volgar is gonna let me die.
Vulgar's
Also,
gonna push you off.
Doesn't
Yeah.
turn out great for Austria. Just newsflash.
Yeah.
I know the events of World War I and II. Doesn't go great.
True.
Oh yeah, my thoughts on Dylan. That would be great. I should get to
Right.
share as well. I knew Jeremy was going to have this complaint as soon as the anime started, so I watched carefully. And my thoughts were like, as much as Alec is going through of character growth, Dylan doesn't have any of that. Dylan she's set in stone. She doesn't really have any issues to get past. She wants to tell Dylan her feelings, doesn't want to reveal her secret. That's about it. And that's not really like he's debating what's ethical in a world war situation. Lives are gold. She's just like, should I kiss this boy? She's way more static, which isn't the worst thing. And she is the more action oriented character. She's going on the scuba mission. She's, chasing after bad guys, whatever. I did notice physically she falls behind a lot. She gets overpowered a lot, which I appreciated. Like when the gangsters kidnap Alex, she's not able to catch up with them. She gets overpowered by a bellhop. She trips a lot.
Yeah.
She's awkward a lot. I thought they did a great job of presenting that physically. Well, she is a better airman than most of them because she comes from a history of airmen. Her balance is better. She swings on ropes better. Yes, I know. If she can carry a gold bar, she can catch a guy with one arm. Sure.
Yeah, both are ridiculous.
But they were constantly showing that, the other guys refer to her as slow. Even if she does manage to catch him, she's just known as the
And
slow
pass
one
them.
in one time. But it's shown that generally she is slower and not as strong as the rest.
It's stated but not shown. Like the characters say
In
it,
the
but it's
chase,
not shown.
no, in chase sequences, she is shown to be slower and weaker. She
And
gets
then she
overpowered
passes
multiple
them.
times. No, I'm
No, she
talking
got
like
overpowered in
later.
the elevator.
A bellhop took her down.
No, she ran into the bellhop's cart. The bellhop didn't take her down.
No. When she jumped
Tackled
out the window.
Listen, I'm just saying, I was watching very closely for it.
Oh, you're talking about that part.
I felt they did a great job. Like, as an airman, she's basically a secret agent in up and coming. That's kind of what we are told by the end.
But she's also a 15-year-old girl.
No, she didn't lie about
She's
her
16.
age. She lied about lying about her age. She's actually 16.
I'm looking at the wiki and it says she's 15.
No,
She really did lie. She lied about both.
Yes.
She insane.
Yes, she's 15. She's actually younger than all of them too.
I was fine with it.
Dang it. Never mind.
But like I said, I found the character just a little too static to be interesting. I love the Scottish accent. I don't dislike the character. She's just like, Alec is going through stuff, and she's just kind of like, life's great. There's a war going on, but I'm getting to fly on a whale.
I did. Okay,
Yeah.
this is one of the parts that was kind of bugged me about her. It's like she's like, "Oh, I just want to fly," and it's like, "Well, why?" And she's like, "Well, I flew with my papa in a hot air balloon," and they have one like 10-second flashback of her in a hot air balloon with her dad, and that's all the backstory we get. Apparently, her parents are dead. Apparently, something happened. Why does she have this burning desire to get back to the sky to reconnect with her past? We have no idea.
I didn't get the impression that her dad was an airman. I just got the impression that he was in a hot air balloon. It could have been weather stuff. It could have been research, science stuff.
There was just no background story for her.
It's not needed. Like, I don't need an episode about her air flying backstory. It doesn't.
I don't
matter.
either. But maybe more.
About it. Clearly, you do.
No, I was thinking maybe a 2-minute flashback of, hey, I did this with my dad. Tragic thing happens. I'm trying to get back to the sky.
What does it matter how her dad died?
Well, it could have given her something to surmount. It could have given
motivation.
her like, an arc.
That I agree with, because again, I feel like she's missing that. Something to overcome. That's what I think is missing from the character. So that I'll give you. But as far as like, I gotta know how she flies so much or why she likes the sky, it doesn't matter. It's
I don't need to know the story of how she got her boots and why they're important. Like, that's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for a little motivation. Like, what is her motivation for?
Then just say that.
I was trying to present a solution. Sorry, Your Highness.
You're forgiven. In my mercy, I have one more thing to touch on I wanted to talk about the two characters. What I did really like about them, and this is more about the story, it's just how they are the opposite on everything. Nearly from warring countries, opposite genders, opposite class status. Again, young adult theme.
But they're both from European countries, though. So I mean,
oh, that's true.
He should have been Japanese.
Right.
There you go.
No, but I like that all this contrast between them, and then using that to show a microcosm of, hey, there's a world at war, but if these two can find love, isn't that cool?
And then walk away from each other.
Yeah, well, we'll get to that. That's You hit a nail on the head there. Let's talk about the story some more. Dylan joins the Air Force, volunteers day one, still in her volunteer clothes that she walked onto the base with, and like, who wants to ride on the jellyfish? I want to ride on the jellyfish. But we had to take the controls off, which it's basically a hot air balloon, but you are strapped to it and you can use hydrogen. But like, we had to take that off. We didn't want you crashing it. So we've tied it to a rope. We're going to send you up in the air. Oh, look, a storm is coming. So she releases the rope and she sails out to sea. And at one point, she falls down and conks her head. She passes out. Yeah, she does conk her head. And then she goes all the way out to sea, and Leviathan finds her. Meanwhile, young Alex is trying to wave down German forces and finds out they're trying to kill him.
Alec.
I'm a little fuzzy on why Germany is so hostile to Alec. Now, I understand that he's secretly the heir to his country, even though he's not supposed to be. Like Archduke Franz Ferdinand's real children were not heirs because of common marriage. He married a commoner. Alec, the Pope, has deemed him an heir, which means he gets a free pass. Okay, cool. I'm down with that. I guess the current king doesn't want, or a current emperor doesn't want him to take over.
Well,
That's probably why they say later the guy died.
Yeah.
So,
and then Germany suddenly being nice, but they don't really define it well. But it seems like Germany's like, oh yeah, we got to kill this guy because we're working with them, and he doesn't really like his nephew and doesn't want him to take over the throne, even though there's nobody else. So I don't see why he cares so much, but maybe that's probably in the book. But
I only have a very general understanding of World War I. I don't remember much that I learned in school about it.
Everyone got pissed at everyone. Everyone had alliances. Germany's like, hey, Russia, France, it doesn't matter. Everyone just got pissed at each other, and it is very interesting, just comparatively to like World War II, because again, the sides were so everyone's just kind of being a dick at the same time, and they're just like, all right, well, I guess we'll send everyone out to die and see how that works. All right, yeah,
bring your shovel.
She gets taken aboard the Leviathan. Ooh. You guys seen the movie 1917? Amazing film.
Probably.
It's the all one long take. It's not really, but it acts like it's all one long take.
Oh no, I haven't seen it. I heard about it though.
The soldier trying to deliver a message across all the trenches and stuff. It's brutal, but it's good. All right, they go to Alex is dreaming of his mom. She plays piano. And then he gets combat training and he crashes. And then they show him that the walker is full of gold. This will be important later. Dylan is working as a pretend cadet on the Leviathan because they're like, well, you're in the Air Force, so I guess you might as well help mop floors and do chores while you're here, feed birds, whatnot.
Because they can't drop her off at it anytime soon.
And then because of the escalation of things in war, Leviathan is told, hey, you're going to do combat maneuvers, which is, hey, get ready for war. So they're not going to drop her off, and she's going to have to stay on longer. And she's like, yay, I'm going to do a war.
They're all excited.
They're very excited. Well,
more naivety.
Well, it's a very nationalistic time. One of the reasons World War I happens. It's fine. Yeah. Then and Alec goes into town for repairs. Sees his newspaper about his parents dying. People get suspicious of him. They have to run away from the Germans again. He doesn't like that they're killing people. I love the big guns on the side of the walker, though. Oh, and the little fast, like, tiny walkers that the Germans are riding on him. Yeah, little horse ones. Those are cool.
Yep.
Dylan goes to Paris with Leviathan, where they pick up a scientist with 4 mysterious eggs. We've already spoiled what's in them. I thought they were going to be... I mean, you knew a cute animal was going to come out and befriend somebody, but I thought that animal could also then be like an atom bomb. Which I realize is it's the wrong war, but they have that in this story anyway.
I was hoping for like a xenomorph style like situation going on where it starts murdering people one by one on the Leviathan.
Yeah, I don't
Start with
think you
Alec.
read the tone right.
Oh, my bad. Was there 4 or 3 eggs?
There were 4 initially.
4.
Okay.
Oh, so
right.
now we have a bunch of new characters we need to talk about. And I'm gonna combine these two because they're in most of our scenes together, and then one just kind of, well, he's not there anymore. Count Vulgar and Klopp, the two guys who have taken Alec, kidnapped him, and are trying to lead him away. Your guys' thoughts?
I like how they're both they're both on the same page as far as end goal when it comes to getting Alec safe and then back to Austria to take the throne. Klopp is obviously the more kinder heart character, trying to give that softer advice and like follow your heart. Vulgar, I'm not sure he said a wrong thing the entire anime until he changed his mind.
Exactly.
He was harsh. He was authoritarian, and he was very risk averse, which in this situation kind of was warranted. And so Alex being 15, it made sense that he would naturally rebel against that. But I thought it's so funny because even though Vulgar was making and offering what seemed to be correct decisions at the time, it always came across villainous and just like, I am in the wrong, but I am a bad guy, so that's why I'm going to give you this advice, even though strategically, if you look at all of the things he was saying, he was right. So I thought it was a neat adversarial relationship between the two.
Seems like you have something you want to say, Troy.
You know, Harrison Ford does it on Air Force One. Everyone's like, "That's my president," and Alec does it in this anime, and everyone loses their mind.
What?
Does what?
Risk their personal well-being, even though they're the leader of a country.
Okay, but Harrison Ford has a vice president and a complete governmental structure to take over for him. This is the last.
Shut up! That wasn't even it was Glenn Close. We don't want that. Sorry, Glenn Close. You are fabulous. That was a joke for Jason. I love you, ma'am.
I'm just saying, Alex, the last of his line, he dies, and like there's no more royal bloodline.
Which means there's either going to be civil war or those people are going to follow somebody else.
Or they're going to be
they get adopted by Germany because again there wasn't actually a real heir.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with everything Jason said. I really liked Vulgar. He was awesome until the very end when he changed sides, went to the dark side. I liked Klopp, but man, was he soft. But at the same time, I kind of understood why he was soft, and I understood why Vulgar let the kid do what he was going to do, is because, if he is supposed to be a king or an emperor or whatever you want to call him, you have to allow him to make decisions. And unfortunately, they were the wrong decisions here. But if you get him used to following your instruction, he becomes a puppet king.
Yeah.
So that would be bad too.
And he needs to feel the weight of the consequences of his decisions.
Yeah, like this is you did this. And he finally does feel that when one of those characters doesn't make it. But it's everything was just too yeah, that's them. They're great.
I really like Vulgar. I don't see. I mean, I guess because he's opposing the main character, but I thought the anime did a great job of showing that his viewpoint is the logical stance, right? It is the traditional way of thinking, but it's also the way of thinking that has led to this war in the first place, that the leaders are a priority over the people. And I loved Alex's journey against that. And yes, I think Alex makes mistakes, and I think Alex realizes by the end I have made mistakes. Which again, at the very end, I don't even like his choice. But I thought Volgar was the best character in the anime. I think I'm not the only one here. I liked, again, we're in a young adult thing. I like the idea of I'm fine with idealism at a young age. The world's gonna come and smack a young person in the face and say, "Yeah, this is reality." That's going to happen, but seeds of idealism are important too. You know, we should learn about George Washington chopping down the cherry tree and telling the truth, even if that's not true.
Right.
You know, I like those things personally, and maybe I probably as a person, I don't even think this will anyone will disagree with this. I'm naive myself, and I'm fine with that. So
I think
I
it's
like what they're going with for this here, and I
I
like
think it's
Clark. He's a big softie.
yeah, I think it's about risk. I think if you're dealing with a character who's risking themselves, or maybe just risking a small number of close friends, confidants, and whatnot, I would be more agreeable. Um, but yeah, is when the risk is so great in comparison, like millions of people, um, the room for naivety and idealism is a little bit lower. You just don't have as much freedom to be as
The
naive.
the question is, does Austria need Alec? Which, I mean, the novel has a
In
different
real
ending.
history, they didn't get him. So, but that's the thing is you don't know that answer until the time has passed. So that's where Volgar says it's your duty, and he's right. Until that duty is removed from you, you are abandoning it.
Hmm. I don't know if I agree with that, especially since it's not a duty he chose.
If it was a duty that he was trained for and he grew up,
But he wasn't. He's not supposed to be the heir. He was literally raised to just be a soft noble his whole life. He only finds out like, oh, by the way, you're now the chosen leader. He's like, wait, what? And he keeps saying, I'm not the leader. Why does anyone even care about killing me? I shouldn't be a thing. And they're like, yeah, by the way, the Pope just signed this letter. This is due to him. And I like the idea of if he is going to be a leader, I think he'll be a better leader having gone through the experiences go through, even if he was making poor decisions throughout the way.
Mm.
He's going to be
I
a
think
better leader for this story. I don't think he should be the leader anyway, but
I mean, everybody is better for the mistakes they make. I agree with that. Like you learn a lot from that. If you don't make mistakes, you're going to be a pretty crazy person. You'll definitely be egocentric.
but just the fact that he learns the value of human life type thing.
Yeah.
That's an important thing for a leader to have, which World War One could use a little more of.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to overtax the point, but
Right.
nobles typically, if they're in a line, even if they're not first in line, know that it's a possibility. So it should have at least been in the back of his head.
No, no,
Mm-hmm.
because it's
Even if you
not
have
a
like 15th down the line, they're
because
still.
he's not in line.
Yeah, he's
I
illegitimate.
know he's a bastard. I know that.
No, he's not. No, he's not. His mother is common, so he
That's
can never
right.
be anything.
Right, but
Which
that's
is
the equivalent
which,
of a bastard. Like that's what I mean by that.
sure.
It's like he doesn't have the noble title on both sides.
Also, I like the idea that, and maybe this is in my head, but that Volgar looks down on him a little bit for being half common, where he's a
Yeah, I
elite
like that.
count, and he's like, I'm stuck with this commoner
Half
kid
breed.
who won't that I have to raise up to the throne, and I don't really think he deserves it. Because Volgar's tough love, and then I was like, I'm not sure there's much love in this. It's more honor and duty to the promise. Okay, we gotta keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
Please.
Shut up. Yeah, they try to sneak across enemies. Oh, we need to talk about Nora. The scientist who we'll find out whose full name is Nora Darwin, who's not named in this anime for way too long, and I had to keep just calling the scientist said.
She's fine. She was more of a story piece than a character. Kind of more like a quest giver.
Yeah, she should have had an exclamation point over her head
Yeah.
most of the time.
She's kind of the glue that holds all the. He shouldn't probably still be here together. Like, she's like, I want this person here, and you have to do what I say because I am
Nope.
Nora. I like the hints that there's more to her than just a scientist. That there's like little MI6 being brewed
Yeah.
here.
Secret agent girl.
That stuff I liked. Yeah.
The one thing I didn't like was that when she came on board, the captain just kind of became a bumbling, oh, what? Huh? What? Okay. We'll do that then. Huh? What?
Not a big fan of the captain not being a character. He's just kind of the captain, and so he has to be in some scenes, but he's just there.
Yeah, it's like he's always surprised by everything, never has anything to contribute, and hardly makes any decisions at all.
Oh,
There's one thing Star Trek knew is that a cool captain is essential to making a good story. Gotta have a cool captain. All right, that was Nora.
especially when the overacts.
Yes,
The best way to do it.
give me Kirk.
I also get to beat those lizard men.
That's right, and those green women.
Oh, while Alec is trying to sneak across enemy lines, I don't know if it's his mechanic or his spotter, but someone has to go out and knock a flare off.
The engineer,
and the engineer dies. The Leviathan has a fight with German warplanes, and even though they're not officially part of the war, but Germany's aggressive. That's what they did in World War One. And a whaling ship comes out. I love that there's flying mechanical, just straight up whaling ships. Okay.
yeah,
And it takes the Leviathan down. And then Alex is in a safe house in the Alps, has a big argument, as he always does, with Volger. And then they see the Leviathan crash into the mountains. And he's like, I'm going to go out there and help him. And this is where Volger's like, you're the heir to your country. Sit down. And Alec is like, I'm going to sneak it out.
This whole sequence just infuriated me.
Yep.
Okay, this next part is actually really rough because he goes up, he finds Dylan, saves her from a rock slide. And then Dylan's like, thank you. He's like, you're welcome. Here's a medical kit. I'm going to leave. She's like, you can't leave. We need to talk to you. He's like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just want to go home. She's like, what about the other villagers? They're not coming. You need to stay. I don't want to stay. I'm capturing you. Takes him on board. He immediately escapes. She catches him again. The walker shows up with Volger and Klopp inside. She takes him hostage and then immediately releases him. And it's like, oh, this is what I'm talking about. It's a lot of spinning a wheel. Either take him captive and move the forward on that plot, or don't take him captive and move the story on that plot. But we danced around a lot on the, are we capturing him? Are we not capturing him?
This
He's
whole
on the ship. He's off the ship.
This whole I'm gonna go up into the further into the mountain to this ship full of what I would assume not friendly military personnel, and I'm gonna go help by myself with one medical kit. I found this whole thing very arbitrary and just really bad storytelling.
Like the naivety's off the chart.
But yeah, again, he lives in a manor his whole life, reading books. He is naive off the charts. That is who he is.
It just makes him a very unlikable character.
Yeah,
I don't find naivety.
Like if he at least talked Klopp into going with him, like even any 15-year-old that I've went into would at least think one step ahead. That okay, once I get there, how am I going to help these people? I know, I'll do an Uber delivery and walk off. Like what? I don't know. Just complaining.
I found the sequence convoluted. I had no problem with him going up and helping people. It just
I did.
seemed in his nature.
Stupid.
Bad.
Remind me not to crash my whale into your guys' mountains.
Oh, please do, because then I will take all your resources.
I'll loot your corpse.
It's just it's a different time. I think that factors into it too. Yeah, British is our enemy, but it's not like
There was
this
no
is not.
war declared against them yet, but at the same time, he needs to stay hidden.
I more meant again, World War One is not World War Two. World War Two is like good versus evil, very much so, and it's very easy to say which side is which. World War One was just everyone being like, "Nah,
Okay,
let's
but that's
invade."
not
It's
okay.
almost a gentleman's war, but then the technology jumped so fast that they just started. Everyone just started. I mean, there's stories about soldiers playing soccer on Christmas Day from opposite side. They came out of the trenches and played soccer for a day. That's the world that this is right now. There's not the animosity for my enemy that there usually is. This is a diplomatic relation, is what war is at this point. It's weird, right?
That's not my complaint, though. I'm thinking logistics, right? Let's say,
Yeah, but he's not, and that's important. That's what he is.
but like I said, I think any 15-year-old that I would ever run into would at least be able to go, okay, once I get there, how am I going to help? Possibly 100, 200 people, like by myself with no supplies. That's all I'm saying.
His medkit.
Okay, we can.
I
Move
think
on.
he
It's
should.
fine.
I think he should have brought more supplies. I 100%.
At least 2 men.
The fact that he had one med kit was like, I brought you a band-aid, so done my part.
Yeah,
Yep,
right.
I'm leaving now.
So I guess I can agree. Like this is a bad way to get him to the Leviathan.
Yes.
If he was like we have lots of food or supplies I could bring up to them, that I could see. But yeah, just here's some bandages and iodine. Good luck.
I gotta get to my next Uber drop off.
All right. So Volger strikes a deal with the captain. The only thing I'm in this conversation is why Volger is like, we're trying to reach Germany. I'm like, probably you can't hide your identity enough that you have to come up with something. But it seems like, I mean, clearly Germany's an aggressor here. That seems like the wrong place to say you're going after they just got shot down by the Germans. That was just me. But Volker's like, hey, we're all friends. The captain's like, yeah, we're all friends. We need food to leave. He's like, okay, we'll give you food and you let us go. He's like, yeah, you give us food. We let you go. So that's what they do, except for they do a prisoner exchange. Volker stays behind, Klopp, and they take Dylan and Nora down. But there's a storm or there's fog. So they have dinner together. We hear Dylan singing. Alec hears Dylan singing. Dylan figures out Alec is a noble because he's prissy. And then they bring back the food the next morning, and the Germans are attacking. Pesky Germans. There's airships in the sky, so they shoot one down, and then the episode ends with a literal bomb. We touched on this. A bomb drops right on them, but then the next episode they're just toppled
They're
over.
fine.
Yeah.
They're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they're broken,
The
but
vehicle's
mostly intact.
broken, but they're fine.
They're fine. And so Alec jumps out to be the spotter so they can shoot the gun and take out the other airship, which works. Oh, and Dylan helps. She also jumps out. So Alec comes up with a plan. He's like, because they're like, hey, the whale's taking too long to heal. He's like, well, what if you had the engines from the Walker to create engines on the Leviathan, and then you could give us passage to the first, what is it, neutral country you
neutral
visit?
country.
And they're like, well, we're heading to the Ottoman Empire, and he's like, that's neutral. I'll take it. So that's what they do. They put cool engines, and I was like, oh, I see where we're going. And then he's going to get a biological walker, and we're going to keep fusing the technologies and showing that working together is the ultimate. Nope. This is it. This is all we're doing.
Yep. Well, you're never going to hear anything about those engines again.
it seemed like oh, now that they're the best ship in the world because they got both worlds, and no, they're just slightly faster. We do have the whole gold debate, and they drop the gold so that the ship is light enough to lift up. Yeah, gold's more valuable than human life. What a child!
That's
Austria's life is more important than 15 soldiers who know that they could die.
The Austrians aren't going to die if he's not there.
You don't know that. They could
I
get
have-
invaded.
I have less problem.
I
I
have
have less problem
hindsight.
them trading gold for human lives. I think that's fine messaging. My problem is there's no way those two drag it on their own.
And that's fine.
I have a problem with both. So
I weep for our future. This is where Dylan also finds out, because she saw the gold, she figures out Alec is literally Ferdinand's son. And then they do throw it off. The ship takes off. Dylan promises to keep the secret. Oh, and we get a quick shot. This is the end of book 1, by the way, which I hope the book has a better ending than this, because this is a bit odd. Oh, Spider Walker. We get to see the Spider Walker for the second time here. And the last time I saw a Spider Walker, Will Smith was on it. And I don't know how I feel about another Spider Walker. I've kind of written them off after that.
In the wild, wild west. Getting jiggy with it.
Okay, so we're flying to Ottoman Empire. We have a boy giving what he thinks is a boy fencing lessons and touching hips, and the girl that's
the other
getting the
boy
lessons
being like, "Whoa,
yo, got the tingles in the mingles."
Whoa!
And then they go to Constantinople, and then everyone starts singing the song, and then the old man's like, "Hey, do you know the song? Have you heard about the song? We're not called that anymore."
you could get hurt."
Which they
Putting
do.
on the Ritz.
Well, but I've skipped forward. So, oh yeah, there's also, they fight a warship, a German warship that has a new lightning gun, clearly invented by Tesla, the greatest villain of all time. Has written Thomas Edison writing this script. Yeah, take that. Klopp breaks one of the engines so that they can turn in time, and then they fix it. Klopp is good at fixing stuff. Oh, but then Austria and Britain officially go to the war, and the captain's like, "Hey, it's all cool. I just need to know who you are." And Volger's like, "Bite me. We'll never tell." Okay, well then you're our prisoner. I'm aware. And then they sneak out, and even Alex. But while they're sneaking out, one of the eggs hatch. The scientist's eggs, and a cute little fuzzy creature comes out, and he speaks for the trees. It's not the Lorax.
It starts with an L.
We're not going to learn it till the next episode, so I can't tell you what it's called right now. But it bonds with Alec, so he's forced to take it with them. Then they run for the fence line, and Volger has to stay behind to buy them time so Klopp and Alec can escape.
They hear a gunshot. They don't know if he's dead.
Yep,
exactly. I actually thought this was really good because for a moment there, it seemed like the boy was going to have to live with the possibility that Volger died, but no, that gets fixed.
Did they shoot him in the leg, or is they just a warning shot here?
Didn't seem like he was injured at all.
I don't remember him limping or anything. Okay. It's called a loris.
Oh,
see, it's the cousin of the Lorax.
He speaks for the seaweed. They're waiting at the rendezvous point for Volger to join them, and this is where we get the scene where the old guy's like, "Hey, you shouldn't call it Constantinople. We're now Istanbul." But then some thugs come in. He's like, "Why did they change it that way? Who can say?" People just like the bed the way. And thugs come in. All right. To be fair, obviously the song's a fun joke, and we all thought about it when we saw it. But I didn't know this is when it changed, and I was like, oh, it was World War One. It might have been a little bit earlier. There's some fuzziness with the timeline here because the rebels they're about to meet, I'm pretty sure are pre-World War One revolution that happens, but it's hard to tell. But yeah, so the Sultan is mad at the British Empire because they promised him a warship and then they kept it for themselves because they were going to war, and so they're there to make peace with him. That's why the Leviathan is there. Alec is met
There's even
with
protesters. They're like, hey, bring back the Kraken or whatever, whichever one it's called.
Alec and Klopp are saved from those thugs by a bunch of rebels whose ideology is a little vague, which is why I had to look up, like, is this the thing? Is this the thing that happened? The Sultan wasn't overthrown in World War One that I'm aware of. But again, very long, complicated war. I'm very fuzzy on it.
Mm.
Anyway, and they want to overthrow the Sultan. And Alex is like, I'm gonna help. And they meet their grandma, and the grandma's like, yeah, he can help. And so he joins. We're going fast on purpose.
No, I guess it did happen at the beginning of World War One through 19. Yeah.
What's crazy about that is it seems like the rebels win, and again, I don't think the Sultan's overthrown during World War One. I'm pretty sure he was in power.
1916 to 18. So I guess it says during World War One, but that seems a little later.
They have one of the most.
During. It wasn't like it was just 1 year.
They have one of the most terrifying mechs I think I've ever seen.
The bull?
No, the like lady centipede one. I was like, are we starting Elden Ring here? Like, what's going on?
Yeah,
I did have that thought of like, these are weird mecha, and I kind of got the thing that like the Ottoman Empire is like, we're gonna fuse the two technologies, but again, it's more like we're gonna make mecha in the shape of animals. But why a caterpillar lady thing? It doesn't make any sense.
That's where Tanya was like, now this feels Japanese.
Yeah.
This mech feels Japanese.
They meet. Okay, so Nora and Dylan go to meet the Sultan, and they're like, look, you can't have the Kraken, but we brought you an egg that might hatch and give you an animal that's 1,000,000 times more valuable. And look, I love the Loris. I don't think these guys agree with me, but I love the Loris. I love what it does. I love its implication and what it's replacing in real world history. There's no way the Sultan was going to agree with her assessment of its value once he found out what it did. There was no way. He was going to be so pissed off that he's like, oh, you brought me a calculator? And that's insanely valuable in World War One. I love the thing they do, but he wanted a battleship, and he's not going to be happy with a calculator.
Yeah.
But he breaks the egg anyway.
He's just like, can't stand this stupid Loris.
Can we do it when we get to Russia?
Yes.
Can we do the Loris argument? Okay.
Yeah.
I
think there's more trees there.
And then the Sultan's like, it's a trap. Because he's already sided with Germany, and Germany now locks down the Leviathan. And again, this is like a gentleman's war, because they're just like sitting around the Leviathan and letting it sit there. And that's it. They aren't like killing anyone or shooting anyone. They're like,
well, they want to capture the Leviathan. They've been trying to capture the Leviathan since the first time I saw it.
But what could be the equivalent of holding a gun pointed at it, but not
right?
firing.
That's what it is. But again, it's a different kind of war. It's not like, hey, let's just blow them up. It's just like, hey, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
They don't go in there and take the crew. They just, hey, we have you stuck, and that's good enough for us for now. German reinforcements are on the way. We'll deal with it then.
That's when we'll come in and take you hostage.
And it's just weird in modern world to see a war that's like, okay, we have a couple days before anything is going to happen to us that we can plan around. And I'm sure that's realistic, probably. So, but the Leviathan's like, yeah, but the Kraken's going to show up before the German reinforcements. And then a bunch of stuff happens with Dylan. So Volger's like, hey, I know you're a girl, and I want you and I'm gonna out you unless you go to tell Alec to get the heck out of the city. And then Nora's like, I need you to go in and find Alec to get the Loris. And then the captain's like, hey, I need you and a bunch of other people to go into the city and do a mission. And then she's like, okay, well, I guess I need to go into the city. So she does. The guy with her gets shot. It's one of the few like real deaths that happen in this. So she has to take on his mission. It was the guy that always bullied her, but was still a comrade, and he's dead. And then she finds Alec, but sees him with a pretty girl. And then another scene that I hate. This probably works better in the book, but he brings her to the rebels, and he's like, "Hey, tell him what's going on." She's like, "I'm not telling you guys anything." So they arrest her, and then he breaks her out and has a conversation with her about how he wants to help. And then 5 minutes later, she goes up to the rebels and is like, "I'm gonna tell you everything." Probably in a book pacing, this is like a week, a couple days, like time to think about it, really decide if this is the right decision. But it's scene after scene after scene where it just feels very flip floppy.
I'm not going to tell you. All right, I might tell you. No, I'm not going to tell you at all. All right, I'm all in.
All right, I'm telling you. So the first thing they have to do is they take her to the one guy who's died's mission, which is to go scuba dive and take out a metal net that's going to stop the Kraken from reaching them with the little mollusks that will cut it open. But she gets spotted by a boat because she kept her flashlight on. So Alec has to set a car on fire.
As a tractor.
Sure. During World War I, was there much difference? Probably about the same top speed.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah. Oh, and then when they get back, there's Lilith now. There's another teen person who's joined the thing, and it's the daughter of the leader of the rebels. Any thoughts on Lilith? She's cute. She's sassy. She likes to talk about romantic interest when she's about to face the Sultan's armed forces. That covers it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then so Dylan is jealous of Lilith and Alec, but Alec's like, yo, Lilith likes you, dude. You're like the coolest dude she knows. And then Lilith's like, Alec, what do you think about Dylan? He's like, he's a cool guy. He like a cool guy. And she's like, you're an idiot, Alec. He's like, am I? So it's all very jumbled. A lot of
This felt so forced.
This feels very young adult to
Mm-hmm.
me. This feels, yeah. We have to get the relationship moving forward. Oh, yeah, and I should say Dylan at this point is like into Alec. Alec is still like the cool dude, but Dylan's like he's so hot. Which I thought they did a good job of showing, not telling. All right.
Yeah, let's move on.
More flirting. Oh, there's a great scene. Alec goes up to Klopp. He's like, Klopp, I think you should go home. And Klopp's like, you know what? Tomorrow, I'm opening my own coffee shop. Coffees around the world. This is all my future plans. Let's go to the deadly battle. Yeah, this is one of the hardest death flags I've seen in a while. This is a bad one.
Yep.
So he's death flagging. The night of the battle, which by the way, the rebels are going to wait for the Kraken to show up. They're going to work together with Leviathan, but the German reinforcements show up first, which they weren't supposed to, but they did. So they're like, let's go attack anyway. We got to do it before the German reinforcements are fully here. So they rush out, but that German warship that was already here has the lightning gun. And so Alec and Dylan use their bull mecha.
Yeah, I thought the visualization was really cool. How the bull mecha had to jump on the boat, run over, and literally like put its tusks underneath and lift it, or horns underneath and lift it. That was cool.
And that the electricity does damage to the mecha because you can't touch metal. I like that.
Not them. I guess. I mean, they weren't even grounded; they were on water. I don't know how that works. That they weren't fried, but I guess they weren't somehow.
He's shocked a little bit when they touch it, but it wasn't a full blast from it, I guess.
Yeah, and like
They're
both their hands are smoking. And that's
they're
the
in
extent of
salt
it.
water, so the size of the boat grounds it.
Okay.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. Would there
Yeah.
have to be any kind of unusual frame inside of the mech in order to have like a Faraday cage sort of thing where
Well,
it
no,
doesn't go through them, or
unless they've got some sort of non-conductive like rubber plating that goes around the cockpit, the foot touching the deck of the boat, and then the boat is grounded. So when the uncontrolled electricity from the gun touches them, it's going to short on the boat, which actually should have shorted out the gun. The gun shouldn't have fired. It probably should have exploded any transformers that were charging the gun.
but it would have gone through them without any harm because you'd have a closed circuit, right?
They would have completed a circuit, yeah.
These guys are just buying time for me to look up more story. I appreciate it. Good job.
Yeah, no
you didn't
problem.
bore the audience at
You're
all.
welcome.
Electrician
so-
days, I didn't think would ever suit me on this podcast.
The behemoth arrives. I'm going forward. The behemoth arrives. And the day is won. The rebels win, the British win. The Germans and the Sultan are defeated.
I do think it's funny that the behemoth is a kraken. When like if you're gonna have Leviathan and behemoth, you'd think that you'd want to go with like the descriptions, because apparently even the name Goliath, which was for the third book, was because it was biblically like a name from the Bible to match that. But yeah, I think it's funny that it's a kraken instead of like some kind of giant
mad.
hippo or alligator or something.
I am mad the boat's not called the Kraken.
Yeah,
that's a great name anyway. Just call it the Kraken.
Yeah.
All right. Alec
That was
makes
a
it back to
basketball team.
shore. Bullets are flying. Klopp jumps in front and says, "Oh, my death flag!" And I die. And he dies.
Start a coffee cafe for me.
Oh, my death flag, there it is.
Dylan becomes an official cadet or for the ship, so he's officially assigned to Leviathan. Alex tells Volger, "We're getting back on the Leviathan." He's like, "That's dumb." He's like, "I don't care." They have an argument. The Emperor has died.
Dun dun dun. Like
And Nora's like,
Palpatine, or
and then Nora's like,
thinking the same.
"We're going to Russia. Who wants to come?" And everyone's like, "Us." And they all jump in and go to Russia. But then Alec is thinking about Dylan, and he's like, "Wait, she has boobs."
Right?
No, he gets things that Lilith had said and Dylan had reacted to. He kind of starts putting two together. He figures out, okay, Dylan's a girl. All right, then we see the Leviathan, thanks to Dylan flying a glider, pick up a bunch of dried meat. They get to Tunguska. We had already seen a scene where like a huge explosion had happened there, and there's scientists. They get to Tunguska. The scientists surrounded by super bears.
That's
what
how
else
you know it's Russia.
Yeah, what else is Russia gonna have? Super bears who are like wild and killing the scientists, and so they use the dried meat to get the bears away. Well, they've mortally wounded the head scientist. I thought for sure we were going into nuclear, and then, like he had radiation poisoning, and then like, oh, I think it was just a bear. I think a bear got him.
Yeah. Yeah, it was so weird. Like the whole time I kept thinking, okay, we know nuclear doesn't happen yet. Are you merging the wars?
Right.
It's like, what's going on?
Which they do a little. They don't do
Yeah.
nuclear, but they're definitely referencing it in the next story. But we'll get to that. All right, it's almost time. Actually, it is time. This scientist, he's Nora's uncle. They're both Darwins. No one knew. And he's been studying this crazy explosive blast, and he's written all these equations on the board. But man, there's just no way to read it all and figure it out. But guess what? The Loris is a calculator and can do it all.
Speaks for the math.
Stares at the blackboard of science and then blinks lights on his back, which Nora writes down to get the computations.
Okay, so yeah.
Why don't you like the Loris?
There's so many problems here. One, she says it's going to be this thing that's going to be way more valuable than the behemoth. Okay, well, in order for it to do any calculations, it can't write them itself. He has to be presented with them. Therefore, you need to have some sort of theory or some sort of currently ongoing scientific method that it can then read and solve. So for one, it's not useful on its own. Two, it just got hatched, and apparently there's no others of this. How do you know what the spots on its back
all three
mean?
others died.
Right.
Mhm.
So, like, how do you know what the spots on the back mean? Just
She's been working with
intuitively?
it.
Huh?
No, we see her training it and studying it, like
No,
showing
we
it
don't.
basic calculations and then writing down and even saying
don't
it's getting
remember seeing any of that.
accurate. Yeah, she does. There's a scene where she's like, "Oh, he's getting very accurate," where she's like doing basic math and then seeing what shows up. She's been working it out.
I don't remember that. But even so, if it's getting very accurate with basic math, how does it have the vocabulary of scientific notation? And how accurate is it going to be with that level of math?
Oh, it's
And
been live for like a whole extra week, so it's good now.
Yeah, right?
and even if it let's say it is, right?
And wave it away.
Those dots on its back, how did it correlate into the coordinates that it needs? Like, this is a scientific, just like, board of stuff. There is no step or logical
Right.
leap explanation to, oh, it was coordinates.
Mhm.
What?
Latitude, longitude.
Like, if it was some sort of equation to explain the blast
Yields.
radius that was there,
Mhm.
or like what the actual blast was made of, like what made the blast, like that would have made sense. But no, this was somehow we've encoded it into the scientificness of this to be map coordinates.
Yeah. Somehow we've decoded the origin.
I didn't like it. So Mr. Lorax is dumb. Okay, no, actually, the Lorax, he speaks for the trees. The Loris, he speaks for the abacus.
There you go.
I freaking love it. This is a science fiction story complaining about little fictional parts of science seems insane to me, but
Jeremy
the
agrees.
idea of
I
advancing
totally agree.
I do know in the novel Dolores actually has a different function, which seems
Oh, really?
way worse to me. It's like a person reader. It repeats important things people say, so it's really good at like deducing truths or something. I don't know. It
Is
didn't
it
make sense
the
to me when I read it.
Like, is it
It's
what they
kind of
turned
like
the lizard into on this?
It's a
I-
handheld recorder.
World War I coming up with advanced calculations and computing. It's basically like a first computer of this world, and that would be insanely valuable. I loved it. I thought that was so cool.
Well, I mean, we're gonna see Tesla, and you can freaking bet that he's got computers.
He
'cause
does have
that's what all
computers.
those
That's
machines
what all the
are.
machines were. But it can't do math.
Well,
And
apparently, that's all computers are. It's math.
Dolores can. So, and lights on this back. People can understand. People learn to read binary. They can learn to read lights on a. critter's
Okay,
back.
people learning to read binary, that is nuts. Like,
I'm just saying they're it doesn't have to be like it doesn't have to show actual numbers for there to be valued into what he's showing on his back.
I think it would have been
in
better.
a science fiction story. I think it works just fine.
Also, reading binary is not that difficult.
Well,
Oh,
it's
I am
reading it
not having that
quickly is.
argument.
Translating binary isn't difficult. Translating binary is not difficult, but reading binary is difficult. If you know what I mean. Like, reading would be like a sentence, like going through and reading.
Like, yeah, being able to
That
like
would be hard.
read a sentence in binary. Yeah, no, that'd be exhausting.
Yes. I think maybe if they didn't have the colors fluctuate while she is saying that she's reading them, that might help. Because if the colors,
static?
Yeah, if
Just
the
be
colors
static.
actually became static and you're like, okay, well, I know that one means this, that those three next to each other lit up in this sequence means that. Like, yeah, that might have helped, but
It would have been better
even
if it
then.
was like, was it like seven lights and then like,
Just the
just
digital.
the, and they made a 5.
Yes, that would have been great. I would have liked that.
I was into it. I thought it was cool.
You would be.
I would be. Yeah, they get coordinates for a super weapon that was fired at Tunguska. It's in America. We're going to America, guys. The home of Nikola Tesla. I know it's not the actual home. They're going to New York City. But first they have to get on a radio and ask if it's okay. But they don't have a radio, but the scientists do, so they got to fix it. But the Germans have shown up.
So
Oh, and
Dolores does nothing.
Nora has a thing who's like, hey, I forgot to tell my uncle I loved him. You should tell Alec that you're a girl, Dylan. She's like, you knew? She's like, everyone freaking knows except for every idiot on this airship.
Yeah. I think this is where I started missing scenes because I was eating. I couldn't read, and I was like, I'm not going to pause.
That is a thing with subtitles. Like I've said multiple times, if I'm taking notes during subtitles, I do miss a scene or two. So it happens. Yeah, the German army arrives. They have to run away, and then they're running for the ladder. And this is where Alec is starting to be like, "No, I got to let the girl on first." And she's like, "You bloomin' sparking spider, get on the ladder. We're being chased by bears now." The bears suddenly come back, and I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess there's bears now." And then they get on the ship, and she tells him that her real name is Darren and that she is a girl. And then they have to get the antenna onto the top of the ship, but there is a storm, and there's no way they could possibly wait for the storm to end. They have to call right now. So they send Dylan onto the top, and Alex like, whoa, he shouldn't do it because he shouldn't do it. And everyone's like, that's dumb. He's the best at it. We're gonna send him.
I thought this was so funny because this at least fit his character, where like if you give him an opportunity to screw something up, he's going to. So the moment that you tell him you're a girl, well, he's gonna blab it to everyone. And even if it's not here, the next possible moment, he'll blab it to everyone. Like,
all right, so Dylan goes out and she gets the antenna planted, but then wind whips her and she falls down and ends up inside a whale tube. I think it's one of the bird tubes. Bat tube. And then Alex is like, "Well, I'm gonna go out there and save her." And everyone's like, "Don't."
Right.
He's fine. Dylan is fine. We'll get them as soon as the storm's over. They know what they're doing, and he's like, "I'm going." And then Volger sees him and is like, "Hey, you can't save her just because she's a girl." He's like, "You know she's a girl?" He's like, "Yeah, I know she's a girl." He's like, "She is a girl." And there's like a person standing like 2 feet away in the hallway. So Alec goes out, instantly falls, hits his head. Dylan has to save him.
This is what I mean. Like he's pathetic. He's absolutely pathetic.
I mean, I don't see why characters can't be pathetic. Characters can be pathetic.
This is the same. This is the same issue with the Alps. He doesn't even think one step up in front of his current step, because he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna swing down there and save her." How?
Yeah.
Did you bring an extra rope? Do you have a ladder? How are you gonna get to her? Like, there's just no thought process, and it's very frustrating to watch.
Well, and I think the most frustrating thing to me was everybody else on the crew would know better what her odds of survival are. Where she's
and they told him.
And everyone told him.
Yeah.
And
no,
he
she'll be
doesn't listen.
Because
he's an idiot. He's a pathetic idiot.
And because he knows she's a
He's
girl,
in love.
protect her.
fair. She just got like major promotions
Well,
ahead
I
of like
know.
a lot of
I
other people.
agree. I'm not saying she can't do it.
Well, no. I'm just saying he should be aware of that, given what he's observed. It shouldn't be something where all of the sudden he's like, "Oh, you're incapable."
That is the point of the series. That is why we're going through these events. He should be. She
Well,
really
it
scolds him
seems like
for
it's
it.
ham-fisted and painting with a really broad brush. Like
It-
it's super over the top, stupid levels.
I was also disappointed because this is supposed to be a very romantic scene in the book.
And
Yeah.
he's just out.
Yeah.
He's-
And I thought that's what this was entirely meant for too. Like the whole reason that he went out there was so that they could have this secluded, isolated, moment, and then he's just knocked out for the
Yeah.
whole thing.
in the book, this is a kissing scene.
That's
He-
what I thought.
He's falling unconscious, and she's like telling him that she cares about him, and then she kisses him, trying to keep him awake. And they have this big conversation while he's. But in here, she's just like, "Yep, pass out. Bye. Sing you a song to sleep with your concussion." And then he wakes up in the airship, and Boger's like, "Well, you screwed the pooch on that one,
Yeah.
kid."
That was a wasted opportunity. Could have stayed awake, man.
Yeah, so Vulgar reveals, Dylan's identity has been found out. She's now on window washing duty. And Alec goes to apologize. And Dylan's told, you'll be dropped off in America. You're being evicted from forces. All stuff that actually happened in World War One. There was there were multiple women who dressed up as men, and if they were found out, they would be immediately outed from the forces. So yeah, they reach America. Oh, and Nora's like, "You want to become a spy? You want to become a secret agent with me? I mean, my science assistant." And Nora's like, Dylan's like, "I don't know."
Aaron at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
Both boy names traditionally.
Oh,
Yeah.
we have a musical interlude where he plays violin and she sings, and then they apologize and actually haven't. Didn't need the song, but again, I liked hearing the lyrics too. It's the OP, and I like seeing the lyrics and that it matched with the story.
I'm not sad that every time they started singing, I just fast forwarded until it was over.
That's not how you're supposed to watch things.
I mean, I was very impressed with all the lyrics.
Riveted.
Yeah, the music was
You
amazing.
probably watched on your phone on a toilet at 2 times speed, and then said, "I don't get the anime so
Okay.
fast. Smells like poop."
Listen, this is not only fake news, but I do not watch it at 2 times speed.
Nothing else is
You
disputed.
better not. You have a podcast responsibility to watch it.
No,
1.5 at the most.
No, I'm saying I always watch it at normal speed. I'm just not disputing the toilet or phone thing. Okay.
Well, you watched it where it belongs.
I'll get.
Oh, shots fired.
It's not that bad. Like,
It's really not.
flawed.
Yeah, it's very flawed.
It's very flawed. And I think cramming 3 books into a single season of an anime is an insane task.
Yeah.
Pacing's all over the place, and I get, and again, I feel like it's missing its target audience with this podcast.
Yes.
All fine, all stuff I agree with.
2 times
We've watched
speed.
a lot worse lately.
I'll agree with that.
All right. I hate watching things at 2 times speed. I can't stand the fast talking.
Okay, training at work, I have to watch at least 1.75 or I start falling asleep. Like the pacing, how people talk that are not used to like creating trainings is the worst. Anyways, sorry for tangent.
Yeah, we're moving. We have real jobs. It's true.
Yep.
They reached. Alec reveals his identity to the captain. In the fact that he can use it to contact Nikola Tesla and get a invite to his demonstration of his new super weapon. I love the idea that they're like, we're investigating. What is this? And then Tesla's like the next day, it's this. Oh man, crack that case. Good thing we didn't wait 24 hours and put a kid up in a storm to die for it. Yep. They go to New York and he gets the invite because Tesla loves the nobles. I don't know. That's true. I don't know enough about Tesla to weigh in. David Bowie played him once. It's fine.
Well, this is how Edison wrote him. Is he loved the
Dylan will be his +1, and they pick out some dresses for Dylan, and she's like, "No, I want colorful suit pants."
Such a young adult novel. The fact that Dylan was the +1, like either of the adults should have been the +1. And I know they voiced the idea of like, yeah, we could, but so young adult novel.
Yeah. Yep. So Alex finally gets to talk to Tesla, and he goes, "I want to talk to you about Tunguska." In the English dub, it's so weird. I was like, "Where? Oh, yeah, no, I know what you're saying, but why are you saying it like that?" And then they go to Tesla's house the next day to talk about it, but they're still in the same clothes. They act like time has passed, but they haven't changed.
Yeah, the sun is up at this point.
Well, especially because Dylan's still in that bright technicolor suit.
I think
What-
she just put it back on. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I guess she just has her other street clothes. And then they talk about, yeah, I have a super weapon. It's called the Goliath. It's going to be the weapon that ends the war. It's basic. It's not a nuclear bomb. It's a Tesla tower that shoots a giant lightning bolt, but it's basically a nuclear bomb. I can destroy cities, and thus everyone has to stop fighting because we have assured destruction.
Which this wasn't a thing in World War I.
It was not.
No.
Well, neither was flying whales, so I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
It is a little bit of having your cake and eating it too. I do like how this entire arc story is like, yeah, you can end a war by killing millions of people, but should you, Oppenheimer? Should you? And Americans are just watching this like, oh, yeah, that's a question people ask. Sure.
And, yeah, that is funny. Of course, he's developing this in New York, in America.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely puts it. It's not worth it to end the war. And I'm sure people have opinions on that, and we're not weighing in on any of it. Some thugs steal Alec after he's like, yeah, it's actually kind of a good idea, Tesla. And Dylan's like, it kind of doesn't sound like a good idea to me. And then thugs take Alec, and Dylan tries to save him, but she can't. She blames Tesla. So she goes to Tesla's super weapon party the next day.
Where he has like 8 people standing outside to watch. He's like,
I think they're reporters.
Here, all the important people.
I think he just invited the press, which
Yeah.
I guess was just 8 people at the time.
I would think there'd be more than just 8, even if it's just press. But yeah,
There's-
it just seemed way too small.
There's no television. There's
Yeah,
no.
but newspapers. I'm sure there were plenty of different ones. I'm sure there were lots of different people from the newspaper that would
in
go.
just New York, though.
Oh, you think people wouldn't come to actually travel to it for some kind of special
Yeah,
Tesla thing?
It's hard. Okay, the time frame is hard, man. Technology shifted so hard right around this time. It's hard to know
It's
what people
true.
can do. You're probably right.
I mean, they had flying zeppelins, so
They
they've
did have
definitely got
zeppelins. We
more
have-
locomotion than we do.
There's planes,
did at that time.
trains.
Automobiles.
No,
No,
that
oh.
wasn't until Vietnam. We got
Oh.
automobiles. All right. Oh, they're like, hey, where is Alec? And he's like, bring those 2 people in. And then he plays it like a Bond villain, like, welcome, I'm in a chair, not facing you.
And he's even got like that circular Bond villain lab environment with the
Yeah.
big globe in the middle. He goes up some stairs on the outside, and all the machines are around the edge. Like everything fit. He needed a cat to be petting.
The craziest part of it is, though, while he's presented as wrong, and again, not weighing in on that, he's at least well intentioned, right? He is trying to do something for the greater good. He's trying to end a world war. He has not kidnapped anybody, but they have him being like, "Whoa, what do you mean he's missing?"
Yeah, that's what made him the villain, is the constant maniacal laughter. Like he came across like an
Right.
egomaniac when he seemed like he was pretty level-headed. Like,
Yeah, his actions are rational, debatable,
yeah,
but
right.
rational
Like,
at least.
even he was like, I don't intend to actually do it. This is more of a hostage negotiation thing.
Right.
And when he was actually forced to pull the trigger in his own mind force, he even said, like, I didn't want it to come to this. I didn't want to do this. So, like, that's not really a villain in the mind. Like, he's not making the decisions of one, but he's playing as if he is one in his demeanor and action. It's super weird. Didn't
Yes.
taste right.
100%.
world peace, Mr. Gadget.
Yeah, exactly.
And the scene where they come in and they're talking, but he's in a chair with his back to them, like hiding in the chair, like, I don't know, I'm here. And then he's like, have some tea.
And then, like, you look, and all the way around the tea glass and on the tea kettle is just the letter T. I was like, oh my God, no.
So Alec wakes up and he's in a German U-boat, which is
This
actually
doesn't
one of the
make
giant
sense.
spider mecha, but it's underwater.
This doesn't make sense at all.
And it's
Station.
he's been betrayed by Volger, even though Volger's doing it for his best interest. Basically, the Germans have decided they've changed their stance.
How did he get on the boat?
What?
Oh,
How
a shuttle. Some kind of
Did he get
crab
on the
shrimp
boat?
shuttle. A shrimp-shaped mecha shuttle.
Okay,
Remember they took off when they picked him up? They took off in some kind of like a squarish,
and it had like
helicopter thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
could have been amphibious.
He's kidnapped by Tesla, correct?
No.
Okay, he's not.
Kidnapped by the Germans.
Yeah, kidnapped by the Germans.
Oh, okay, I thought Tesla had kidnapped him. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
You know, in my notes, I wrote that because Dylan calls out, "Oh, Tesla, you got him!" And I'm like, "Oh, I must have missed Tesla like being in the helicopter." Because, but no, that was just Dylan making an assumption that Tesla had did it, but she was wrong.
Okay, so the guys in the flying ship helicopter thing, they were not working with Tesla.
Right,
correct.
They're Germans.
Okay, and one other thing, this crab walker thing on the bottom, like it's a undersea walker, correct?
I imagine spider one.
Well, I imagine it has propellers on it and can probably retract the legs and go instead of just walking, but it also has the capability, like it's amphibious, I think. It can walk on land or propel itself underwater.
Did we have any evidence that it had propellers?
They called it a U-boat.
They call it a U-boat, and they mentioned changing depths at one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that meant they were just gonna like walk off a cliff underwater, or.
Well, I guess we've come to the Marianas Trench. We're not going anywhere.
Well, and then my question is like, okay, how did you get this thing from Germany to the United States in under the time frame that has been given based off the information of Tesla doing his demonstration? That seems like
required it to be a propeller. It's the only way.
I was about to say, because that even with propeller, you're talking at least a month.
Yeah, it would take a long time. But they didn't tell us how long it took for the Leviathan to get there, because he just woke up and they were like, "Oh, I thought you'd be asleep till New York."
I mean, it's possible they were already there, just like checking in on America.
That's possible.
It's not impossible. It doesn't seem probable that Germany would care about America at this point in the war. America's not involved.
It depends on how important that particular U-boat was. Like, if it's one of many throwaways, then I could see them throwing it out there as like a scout. But if it's actually a valuable, important part of their army, then yeah,
because it's named.
Yeah.
Anyway,
was it?
Volger's like, "Hey, I fixed it. Okay, the Germans are taking us to Austria. You will become the king. We'll have to be allies with the Germans, but oh well. You know, we already were kind of allies with them. Austria is about to become a German-owned country anyway. I kind of assume that's what this is leading to." And then Alex like, "No, German's bad." And then the German's like, "Oh, that was rude, but good morning. Look, it's all cool. We're all cool now. Come talk with us. We just got to do one thing. We got to go steal this super weapon, and then we'll be on our way." And I was like, "No, German's bad." Knocks out the guard, and Volker's like, "I'm working so hard for this. Why did you do that?" He has this meltdown. And Alec's like, I'm taking a walker and I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna help. And Volgar's like, I'm gonna fight you now. Can't take
Yeah.
this anymore. And they have a big sword fight. I feel Volgar is very justified in his anger.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that Alex uses that. As much as I hate the actual ending of this anime, I love this scene of, because Alec is the guy who's like, quit fighting war, find another option. So he just quits fighting. That was what wins him this fight with Volgar. Volgar thus has to concede because he's not willing to kill the future king of his country.
Yeah, he sure is lucky he's fighting someone who cares about him living.
Yeah, sure. But he
Because
also
not
knew
fighting is not going to win any other battles.
But he also knew that. So you're
Yeah.
right. You're right. Again, my
This is like-
biggest problem with Alec is quit doing the war thing. Okay, what's the other option? I don't actually have an
Yeah.
answer to that.
Exactly. This is the one time that he's not naive, where his strategy pays off.
Yes. But I like that they were able to write something into the story that where his actual ideals worked. Even though like
Yeah.
minutes later he goes outside and has missiles shot. It's fine. He didn't kill anybody.
Lots of people died around him, though.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so this crab thing comes out. Is like, hey, and Tesla's like, I got a radar. I see him. Hey, back off, or I'm gonna shoot
Berlin.
capital Berlin. And then they're like, oh, we're turning around. Lightning gun shoots his main tower. And we're like, we got you. Okay, now we're gonna come take it. He's like, the main tower was the decoy. The real weapon is one of these 12 towers I've hidden
That
around.
was so stupid. Oh my god. That was super villain, like Austin Power level super villain.
I honestly thought it was gonna be like, this is just like the middle, but like the other 12 are what matters. But they're like, no, it's number 4. Number 4 tower is all that matters, which the Loris figures out. So
And has
they
a big
tell
number
Alec-
4 on its back. Oh wait, no, they divine it somehow.
And Dolores goes and actually knows to click the button to release them from
they can now input commands into the computer. How cool is that?
bull crap.
Oh, actually, so Tesla hits a button and a like electric force field go like
Yeah.
Star Wars style of force field comes up from the ground. I'm like,
Yep.
World War I. Yep. That
Yep.
makes sense.
All right.
Well, it's Tesla, you know.
There's something slightly better here though. Dylan's running forward right when the shield goes up, and Nora stops her and is like, "Look," and throws her hat against it, and it just like, and like nothing happens. It's just slightly singed. Like Dylan probably could have ran into that and just been fine. You could have.
Okay.
It's a lot of drama. I thought the hat
Well,
was just gonna like
sunburn.
evaporate, but no, it's just like.
That would have been so much better if the hat just exploded.
Right. All right. Alec is able to get onto a walker, German walker, thanks to Volgar, because he's like, hey guys, Tesla's still gonna shoot. You guys need to stop. And the Germans are like,
Arrest
catch him.
This was another thing that was so crazy is that when Alec and Volgar were fighting, the whole area where all the walkers were was just empty. There were no technicians preparing the walkers. There were no pilots getting ready to get in them or testing their systems.
They were ready
There was
to
none.
go.
But then as soon as like moments later when Tesla makes his statement and then they turn around, lights start turning on all the walkers, which means that the soldiers were actually in most of the walkers already. And then you see soldiers that aren't in the walkers but are below it that come in to attack him. Like it's so the continuity is just broken and it doesn't make sense.
There's a little geography problem. Yeah.
Yeah, there should have been like it reminds me of the Star Wars scene where they were preparing and all of the technicians were by the X-wings and the pilots were getting ready. Like if you're getting ready to launch an operation on land, there would be people down here.
We didn't start doing that till World War II, though.
Oh yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm just trying to get to the end here, guys.
I know.
Dun,
So
dun,
they're like,
dun, dun.
hey, Nora had already called in the Leviathan to defend the Goliath, but now she's like, hey, shoot the Goliath. They're like, okay. They're like, you have to shoot number 4. Okay, we don't have targeting computers. They said something about like our targeting's all messed up. and I'm
No,
like,
because the thing was charging, it was messing with the magnetic fields in the area, and so like all of their equipment was on whack.
And
But
they
they
couldn't
don't.
see it through the storm.
That makes sense, but they don't use electrical equipment. They use birds.
That's true.
Birds navigate via the Earth's magnetic.
But they still managed to do it once they saw it with the flare. So
That
Well, then they don't have to rely on their sense. They can rely on their sight.
right. Again, the storm makes sense, but they really all they need is a visual.
Right.
to know,
So
like,
firing the
this is
flare
where it
worked.
is.
Anyway, Alec runs his walker in, and Dylan's like, "No, Alec, you can't sacrifice yourself. Barking the spiders." And she jumps on Tesla's wingy, flyy, droney thing, and she
Yep.
flies out. And he runs in and he crashes immediately, but he shoots the flare, and then he jumps onto her back, and they fly over to the beach where somehow she is the one who passes out. Maybe they hit
Yeah.
the ground. It doesn't matter.
Also,
She's
those
passed
wings
out.
are not big enough to fly with, and nor are
Stop.
those rotors big enough to hold the person
They
up
were.
there.
Actually, I did the
Yep.
math. Those rotors were just the right size
For one person, but not two.
for 3 people. Actually, you could have one more person. I had my Loris check it.
Yeah, exactly. It was mostly reliable and accurate.
Mostly.
Are we gonna keep yelling about the fiction and the science fiction?
That's the
Yes.
only part that was entertaining.
Yes,
It was
exactly.
not.
Well, I guess the Lorax was pretty good.
Hey, and then the
The arc was okay.
Leviathan kills all the German soldiers.
Yeah. And he's okay with that.
Even though he tried to warn them 5 seconds ago. Hey, don't die for this. All right, well, you're gonna die. Bye.
Yep.
Bat bombs. Don't leave home without them.
From Batarangs.
Afterwards, somehow Volger survives that, though. He's in the hospital.
I know, that was so stupid.
America is joining the war, as we do. Alec has decided to return to Austria and become the king, and he wants Volger to be his advisor.
Assistant manager.
The entire
Assistant to the manager.
The entire story didn't matter.
Yep. Everything
Dylan-
that he was doing, all of his values.
Dylan gets to
figured out they were
rejoin the
wrong.
Air Force, but refuses. I think she decides to take Nora up on her offer, right?
I thought
Yeah, to
she
be a
went
secret
with
spy.
them. Did she
I
really?
never-
Oh, that's cool.
She never got back in uniform. As I was
Not-
confused too. But
not
I never
only
saw her
that,
back.
Nora goes, "Hey, we're going to Antarctica," and she's like, "Okay."
Oh,
So,
that's right. You're right.
But still staying on the Leviathan and probably will do most of the duties anyway.
Ah, that's true.
And then Alex and Dylan meet up. They promise someday they'll meet again and kiss their barking spiders, and also
That sounds really weird.
also Volger and Nora are banging now, apparently.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm spoiling the end of the book because I don't like this. In the book, Alec tears up the letter from the Pope and he joins Dylan as another secret agent. They form a team, and it's implied
be
they get married, and he chooses love and helping people over becoming just another disconnected leader, which is his impression of leaders in this
Mhm.
world. And I felt like everything was in this anime built towards that as well. And then they're like, you know what? It's good to be the king, though. It's good to be the king. I gotta go.
You can make more change as a king than you can make as just an individual.
You can, but specifically the biggest he cannot be with her as royalty.
right. She's coming,
Uh,
and from
there will-
another country.
There will be alliances. There will be forced marriages. There will be lots
Mhm.
of issues with this. So by tearing up the letter, it's him choosing his.
Yeah, I agree. Mhm. Yeah,
So-
I would have liked that more, just in the sense of it fits everything else he did.
Being
It
making
doesn't
dumb
change.
decisions.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't change the fact that I think he made dumb decisions all the way, but at least he was consistent. This just is weird because it's like Volger suddenly had a moment to say, "Oh, you get it now? You
Right.
finally you're gonna listen to me?"
Actually, I agree with you on that. I don't just obviously in the real world his decisions are dumb. I get
Mm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
In a fictional story where, heroes are good and those are ideals we're pushing forward, I'm good with his decisions. And you're right, but he does it about face. He's like, oh, you know what? I do need to do the responsible thing and really take control of that country. And look, I only know two things about Austria from history. One is that Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, and two, Sound of Music happens. Um, that's all I know of Austrian history.
Doesn't Arnold Schwarzenegger go there?
He has an Austrian accent, I thought.
Is Austria still a thing?
It was when Arnold was there. I guess I don't know.
I said I don't know what happened after Sound of Music. Did they come back after World War II? Austria's probably still around. I am sorry to the former people of Austria. I don't know where I want to go. I want to be done now. I need to. Let's go to final reviews. Jeremy's doing research. Jason, hit us. Save me.
The story was it was all over the place, and the world building was pretty good. I liked the contrast of the different technological paths. I don't like a story that's based off the naive, dumb decisions of one character over and over and over again to get to the end. It feels forced and it feels contrived. I didn't like a lot of the dialogue, but it had its moments, and there were quite a few barking spiders. But yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. But it's also not middle of the road. So I'm gonna give this a 2.
So yeah, Arnold was from Thal. I don't know how to pronounce it. Austria. So yeah, I guess it still exists.
Now I know 3 things about Austria.
That's right. So yeah, this anime is not my cup of tea, which is really sad because I love the idea of it. I'm not a huge World War One history buff by any means.
I think
I
clearly
don't
none
know
of us are.
that much. Yeah. So it's not necessarily that it's in World War One that makes it so interesting to me. It's the setting of the technology versus the biology, which is really interesting. And I love having like Tesla pop up in there as a third wheel of like, what about a lightning elemental? And I think that there's so much potential. It could be really cool. But I thought that the way it was portrayed here at least was pretty shallow. The girl was aggressively obnoxious in a way that I typically don't like. And it's because
Aggressively
she was more
Scottish.
I don't know. Because even when she didn't have a Scottish accent and it was just in the sub, like she was just overbearing and kind of a bully. And yeah, it was I mean, like that moment where she's like, oh, shut up and just go on when he was holding the door for her. I'm like, oh, come on. This is why chivalry is dead. Um I did not like her character. I couldn't stand his character because he was weak and pathetic and so naive and didn't necessarily get enough immediate consequences. Really, not even enough over time consequences. Like I'm okay with a character being naive and then having to suffer through or learn, take the hard knocks and then come to your decision about why you're going to, not be that naive in the future. But for him, it was kind of like the only thing that changed his position was, oh, Tesla told me that he wanted to end wars, but then his way of ending wars is destroying an entire city, a capital city. I guess I do need to go be a king to stop people like Tesla. It just his choices, his actions didn't really have an impact and consequences. It was more like something outside of him convinced him, and I would have liked to have seen more consequences. It didn't even seem like it really mattered to him that much that his friend, the big guy, died. Like, yeah, we had a crying scene, a wailing scene, but that wasn't what, really bothered him or anything. So yeah, for me, this is, the art was beautiful. I thought the art was really good. I like Studio Orange and the way that they present things. Yeah, but that's really the only thing I liked about it. So for me, this is just a 1. Tanya gave it a 0.
I'm giving it a 3. I do find it middle of the road. I enjoy the alternate history take. I think my biggest issue is maybe not giving that that history moment the gravity it truly deserves. And that's kind of right where I'm at with this. It's like, hey, thank you for presenting history in a really cool way, but also you probably should have treated it a little more better. You can't just say Rip Roaring Adventure World War One. And it's like that all over the place. Hey, I like the characters, but they also are very simple and shallow. I like the climaxes of all the storylines. I was usually into and excited about the endings, but it was kind of a drag to get there. There's a lot of contrivances. There's a lot of spinning its wheels. Ultimately, what's keeping me from going lower than a 3 is it is something different. A Japanese studio taking an American novel about a World War history, taking the steampunk. It's very original. It's very unique. It's not another isekai
What are you
or
trying to say?
or generic fantasy story. Again, I'll say 100 times. It's not that I don't like those things. I just really enjoy the originality of something different, stretching the imagination, pushing those limits. This is not something I've seen in anime before, and I appreciate that for it more than anything else. And I enjoy a sassy Scottish lass barking spiders. So yeah, just a 3, and that it's probably on the lower side of that as well. Okay, that takes care of reviews. Our next anime is going to be that guy is going to tell you.
I'm the
not saying
evil lord of an intergalactic empire.
I would tell you the plot, but he already just did.
Yeah.
All right. If you have thoughts on, look, I go
Leviathan?
Lazarus, Labyrinth, Leviathan. If you have thoughts on Leviathan,
Leviathan.
Whoa.
maybe
Settle.
let's not put a whole lot of thoughts of World War One into the chat. Let's probably not do that. But we would love to hear your thoughts on this anime. All the stuff we've talked about is fine. Please feel free to reach out to us on our website, theanimebakaclub.com. Hit that contact us button. Or you can find us on Twitter at Baka Podcast or wherever this podcast was found. There is probably a comment section which probably comes back to us.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. And if we didn't answer, that's because I was on vacation. Probably.
Like
anyway, I think it's time for us to say goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
Sayonara.
Barking spiders.